Oh man, I got some more. I'm gonna brand them too. I got some more ornaments for the table. Some new ones.
Good.
I got one. It's a pedestal sensor. It's about that high. It's nice too. It's real nice. And then I got another one. It's like it's kind of like this sensor, but it's big. It's real big. It's kind of tall and it's big. I saw a bunch of them at the local one. And then I got a new incense burner too. It got like crystals on it. Got like crystals going down.
How much more is that?
$5.
Is it the same height?
Mm-hmm. Same height. You just got the crystals going down. So, yeah, it's nice. I saw some of them. Yeah, so I got another one. No, maybe. Yeah, I think that's it. Nadia and what's the name bought one. Nadia bought one. Jam a warrior bought one. Yeah, she bought one too. The crystal incense burner. Yeah, they bought one. Yeah, they nice though.
We live.
You ready? Much.
Love y'all shop.
Stand. Wapin Yahakadam is turned to face the east. We're going to say the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew.
Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanaw. Shema Shemayim.
Shema Shemayim.
Kodash. Hayat. Shemka. Yahweh. Malakuka. Naba'ah. Ratzai. Hayat. Aisha. Ba'aratza. Kawak. Hayat. Bashemayim. Adanaw. Lakam. Kol. Yawam. Wasalaknawa. Kabawafnawa. Kasalaknawa. Kabawafiyanawa. Wala'ah. Dabayanawa. Banasaya one. Abor. Awashinawa. Mayan. Rai. Kaya. Nakat. Amalakwa. Waha'ala. Wahata'apara. La'abalum. Aman.
The Lord's Prayer in the English. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us of our debts. Forgive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation. But deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be.
The power in the Hebrew. Yahweh.
Ba'ashem.
Yahushai. Bakashai. Thanaw. Hakat. Larpa'at. Wakol Manawa. Hakat. Latahar. Amatazari. Hakat. Lakwai. Hamathi. Hakat. Al-Rakawa. Hatama'ala. The Gorshan. Ba'ashem. Yahushai. Waram.
The power in the English. Yahweh. In the name of Yahushua. Please give us the power. Power to heal. All manner of sickness. All manner of disease. Power to cleanse the leper. Power to raise the dead. Power against unclean spirits. To cast them out. In the name of Yahushua. Thank you, so be.
Psalms 121 in the Hebrew. Asha'at.
Asha'at.
Hayanya.
Hayanya.
Ahari. Ma'ayan. Yaba'at. Aizari. Ma'ayin. Yahweh. Aisha. Shamayim. Wa'aratza. All your thumb. Amawat. Regard. All Yana. Shamar. Hana. La'ah. Yana. Wala'ah. Yayasham. Shawamar. Yasha'ala. Yahweh. Shamar. Yahweh. Zog. Al-Yad. Yam-Yankah. Yawamar. Hashamash. La'ayakaka. Wayarak. Walayala. Yahweh. Yashamar. Makal-Rat. Yashamar. Afnapaska. Yahweh. Yashamar. Taza-Ataka. Ma'aita. Ma'aita. Psalms chapter 121 in the English. I will lift up my eyes into the hills. Whence cometh my help? My help coming from Yahweh. Which made heaven and earth. Will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Yasha'ala shall neither slumber nor sleep. Yahweh is thy keeper. Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day. Nor the moon by night. Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. Yahweh shall preserve thy going out. And thy coming in. This time forth. Even forevermore. Psalms 83 in Hebrew. Alahayim. Al-Demai Lakah. Al-Thakarash. Al-Tashakwat. Kayahana. Awabika. Yahama Yawan. Wamashanayaka. Nasha'awa. Ra'ash. Alamaka. Ya'ira Yoma. Sawad. Wayatayamataza. Al-Tazapon. Amar. Lakau. Wanakayadi. Magoy. Wala'ah. Yazakar. Sham Yasha'awa. Aiwad. Kaya. Nawa Atazawa. La. Yakadwa. Ayaka. Baryak. Dakarafwa. Ahoya. Adawam. Wayashma'ali. Mawa'aba. Wahagari. Gabal. Wa I'm a one. Wa I'm a lock. Halashat. I'm your shab. Tazawar. Namashawar. Nalawat. Imam. Hayawat. Zawawat. Labayan. Salat. Aishalahom. Kamadian. Kasayasara. Kayabi. Banakal. Wayashma. Nashamawa. Ba'ayan. Ya'arak. Hayawat. Daman. La'adama. Shayatama. Nadayapamwa. Ka'ara. Wakaza'aba. Wakazabak. Wakazomana. Called Nasayakama. Ashar. Amarwa. Nayarasha. Lanawat. Af. Na'awaf. Alahayim. Alahayat. Shayatama. Kagogla. Kakwash. Lapanya Rakat. Ka'ash. Shaba'ira. Ya'ira. Wakalahaba. Talahat. Haryam. Khan. Dawadama. Basa Irika. Babasawaka. Dabahol. Mala'ah. Kanyahom. Walawan. Wayabakwasha. Shukah. Yahawah. Babasha. Wayabahol. Ayah. Wayakapo. Wayabad. Wayada'aywa. Kaya. Ata. Shukah. Yahawah. Babaka. Ayawan. Call Ha'aratza.
Psalms 83 in the English. Keep not thy silence, O Yahweh. Hold not thy peace. Be not still. O power. For lo, thy enemies make a tumult. They that hate thee have lifted up their head. They have taken crafty counsel against against our people.
They have taken crafty counsel against our people.
And consulted against our hidden ones.
Consulted against our hidden
They
ones.
have said,
come.
Let us cut them off from being a nation.
Let us cut them off from being a nation.
Let the name of Yahshua
The name of Yahshua
maybe no more remember.
maybe no more remember.
For they have consulted together with one consent.
They have consulted together with one consent.
They are confederate against thee.
They are confederate against
The
thee.
tabernacles of Edom.
The tabernacles of Edom.
And the Ishmaelites.
And the Ishmaelites.
Moab.
Moab.
And the Hagarites.
The Hagarites.
Baal.
The Baal.
And Ammon.
Ammon.
Amalek.
Amalek.
The Philistines.
Philistines.
The inhabitants of Tyre.
The inhabitants of Tyre.
Sure also was joined with
She
them.
was also joined with them.
They have hoped in the children of
They
light.
are hoping in the children of Lot.
It's a lie.
It's a lie.
Who unto them as unto the
Who
Midianites.
wants to live into the
That's
Midianites.
the Sisera.
That's the sister.
That's the Jabin.
That's Jabin.
That's the brook of Kassan.
Brook Kassan.
Whose perished at Endor.
Perish it in
And
the
became as dung for the earth.
came is done before the
Make
earth.
their nobles like a rib.
Make the nobles like a rib.
And like Zael.
And like Zael.
Yea.
Yea.
Of the princes as a
The
body.
princes that's a
And
body.
as a
And
monarch.
as a motive.
Who says,
Say,
let us take ourselves the house of God and possess.
let's take ourselves the house of God in possession.
All my power.
Oh my power.
Make them like a wheel.
Make them like a
And
wheel.
stubble before the
And
wind.
stumble before the wind.
Fire burneth the
As
wood.
fire burnt the
And
wood.
the flames set the mountains on
As
fire.
flames set the mountains on
So
fire.
persecute them without
So
tempest.
persecute them without
And make them
tempest.
afraid without storm.
Make them afraid without
Fill
spirit.
their faces with shame.
Fill their faces with
That they
shame.
may seek thy name.
They may seek thy name.
Oh, Yahweh.
Oh, Yahweh.
Make them confounded in trouble forever.
To be confounded in trouble forever.
Yea.
Yea.
Let them be put to shame and perish.
That we put to shame and
That
perish.
men may know.
That men may know.
Thou whose name alone is Yahweh.
That thou whose name alone is
The
Yahweh.
most high over all the earth.
The most high of all the earth. The blessings in the Hebrew. Barak.
Barak.
Athah.
Thou.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Why Yahweh Shah.
Why Yahweh say?
Why Maki Allah.
Why Yahweh?
Why Alahayim.
Why Adonai?
Matzazabi.
Why Matazabi?
Alawah.
Adonai.
Yahana.
Yahweh.
Ha-Alawah.
Adonai.
Hasaranya.
Asarani.
Ha-Kwatazani.
Matazabi.
Ha-Kayayoli.
Akayoli.
Wah-Ha-Akwafi.
Akwati.
Ha-Salaki. Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Ba'ashem.
Hashem.
Yahweh Shah.
Outside.
Warama.
Blessings in the Hebrew. In the English. Bless you, Yahweh.
Bless you, Yahweh.
And Yahweh Shah.
And Yahweh Shah.
And Michael.
And Michael.
And the angels.
And the angels.
The manager, the
The
Yahana.
manager and Yahweh.
Generals.
The
The
generals.
captains.
The captains.
Officers.
Officers.
Troopers.
The troopers.
And the sisters.
And the sisters.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
In the name of Yahweh Shah.
The name Yahweh Shah.
Thank you so be it.
Thank you, so be it.
Blessed are you, Yahweh.
Blessed are you, Yahweh.
King of heaven and earth.
King of heaven and earth.
All things living.
And all things living.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
In the name of Yahweh Shah.
In the name Yahweh Shah.
Listen to us now.
Listen to us now.
Right now.
Right now.
Send evils and curses.
Send evils and curses.
Punishment and destruction.
Punishment and destruction.
To the heathen
To the heathen
that speak up against
that
us.
speak up against
Thy
us.
prophets and thy teachers.
Thy prophets and thy teachers.
The princes and the
The
priests.
princes and the priests.
Israelite brothers and the school.
The Israelite brothers in the school.
Send evils and curses.
Send evils and
And
curses.
punishment and destruction.
And punishment and destruction.
To the heathen.
To the heathen.
And shake loose the treasure of the rich of
They
Israel.
shake loose the treasures of the rich of Israel.
That refuse to give to the school.
They refuse to give to the school.
Force their riches into thy sanctuary.
Force their riches into thy sanctuary.
Send evils and curses.
Send evils and curses.
Punishment and destruction.
Punishment and destruction.
To the
To
Edomites.
the Edomites.
And their nations and their drug
And their
dealers.
nations and their drug dealers.
The court system.
Court system.
Prison system.
Prison system.
Planned Parenthood.
Planned Parenthood.
All governments about it.
All governments for our enemy.
Amalek synagogues and homes.
Amalek synagogues and army.
Roman Catholic Church.
Roman Catholic Church.
The Pope.
Pope.
Islam. Christianity.
Christianity.
Egyptology.
Egyptology.
Militia.
Militia.
Ku Klux Klan.
Ku Klux Klan.
Aryan Nation.
Aryan Nation.
Skinhead.
Skinheads.
Posse Comitatus.
Posse Comitatus.
Gay movement.
Gay movement.
Lesbian movement.
Lesbian movement.
Spies.
Spies.
Workers of witchcraft.
Workers of witchcraft.
National Space Program.
National Space Program.
Army.
Army.
Navy.
Navy.
Air Force.
Air Force.
Marine.
Marines.
Wall Street.
Wall Street.
Open up the internet.
Open up the internet.
And the airway.
And the airway.
Cable access channel.
Cable access channel.
And the radio channel.
And the radio channel.
Convict the spirit of any of thy people
Convict the spirit of any of our people
that seek to stop
that
us
seek to stop us.
and bring swift destruction
Bring swift destruction
to all the heathen
to all the heathen
that stand in the way
that stand in the way.
or try to stop us
Try to stop us
from broadcasting your word
broadcasting your word
throughout the planet Earth.
throughout the planet Earth.
Let loose all the
They
plagues.
lose all the plague.
Cause them to go to and fro
Cause them to go to and
through
fro.
the earth and consume them.
The earth consume them.
Let the plagues hit the house of the thief and the murderer.
Let the plague shut the house of the thief and the murderer.
Let Yahweh shine.
Let Yahweh shine.
Mike
Mike
and Gabriel
Gabriel.
come down with the flying saucer.
Down with the flying saucer.
And punish all the heathen
Punish all the heathens
that stand up against
that
us
stand up against us
as we speak thy
as
word.
we speak thy word.
Cause it to be known by all.
Cause to be known by all.
It is the angels that have
It
done
is
it.
the angels that have done it.
Cause it to be spread throughout the
Cause to
media,
be spread throughout the media,
throughout the whole world.
throughout the whole world.
Cause them to shake it that come.
Cause them to shake thy coming.
In the name of Yahweh.
In the name of Yahweh Shai.
Thank you always.
Thank you always.
So be it.
So be it.
So, means turn. Yeshavia means to have a seat. All right, y'all, get the Lord a hand. Let's get the Lord a hand. All right, we back at another Sabbath service. The Lord said 6 days thou shall work, but on the seventh day shall be a Sabbath of rest. All right. The Lord said that it will be a Sabbath of rest. For those who don't know what the Sabbath is a day of rest. From okay. All right, so the Lord said that today, for those who don't know, today is just a day of rest from slavery, from servile work, doing servile work, and this is what the Sabbath is about. In the Israelite School, the Universal Practical Knowledge, we use this day to do camps. We use this day to have services where we would read the Torah. The fan, could you put the fan on? Bro, shut up. Plug it up over there. Just blow it. You hot some? Yeah, I was thinking. All right, so, shalom, so.
Shalom.
Yeah, shalom, so we, so that's what the Sabbath is. We we'll go to camps and we'll, do, go feed the homeless, you know what I'm saying? Clothe the homeless. We do all these type of things, on the Sabbath service, during the Sabbath. Christ said, is it good to do the scripture? The scripture.
Right, to be well in sin.
Right. Yeah. Right to do well in sin. And these are things that we do on the Sabbath. And we just at home, scared to, take a bath and scared to cook and scared to do, stuff like that. We just don't do servile work, because that's what the scriptures tell us not to do. All right? But we don't make it into a religious day. It's not anything religious. It's just a day of rest. All right? You don't work. You do any servile, any servile work. You don't have anybody do any servile work for you also. All right?
It's Matthew chapter 12 and verse 11. And he said unto them, what man shall there be among you that shall have one sheep, and if it fall into a pit on the Sabbath day, will he not lay hold onto it and lift it out?
Go up and go up a couple verses there and see why Christ was saying this. Because the Pharisees was questioning him. The religious leaders was questioning him at this time.
This is Matthew chapter 12 and start at verse 10. I'm sorry, verse 9. And when he was departed thence, he went into their synagogue. Verse 10. And behold, there was a man which had his hand withered. And they asked him, saying, is it lawful to heal on the Sabbath days?
All right, so now they was trying to catch Christ up. All right? In their mind, it wasn't lawful to do any work, any kind of work, on the same way these fake Israelites do. You know what I'm saying? They are no different than the Pharisees. So in their mindset. All right, so they was, asking, is it right for Christ to be doing, miracles? And just picture that. He's doing a miracle, right? They know that what he's doing is a miracle, and nobody can do this but somebody who is with God. All right, and they're asking him, should he be doing a miracle and helping another man, another brother on the Sabbath? All right, just think about this. Keep reading.
That they might accuse him. Verse 11. And he said unto them, what man shall there be among you that shall have one sheep, and if it fall into a pit on the Sabbath day, will he not lay hold onto it and lift it out?
All right, so he's asking them, all right, which one of y'all, you saying we shouldn't do any work, but which one of y'all, if a sheep fall into a pit, into a ditch or something, and he can't get out, which one of y'all just gonna leave him in there? You ain't gonna go in there and lift, do the work to get the sheep out of the pit. Keep reading.
Verse 12. How much then is a man better than a sheep?
Right. How much is a man better than a sheep? So if you would do that to help a sheep get out of a pit, why wouldn't you help a man whose hand is withered, or help a man, period, for anything that they need on the Sabbath? All right, keep reading.
Wherefore it is lawful to do well on the Sabbath days.
So he's letting them know. I'm letting you know that it's lawful for you to do good on the Sabbath. It's lawful for you to go out and feed the hungry. It's lawful for you to go out and clothe the naked. It's lawful for you to go do all these things on the Sabbath. All right? Because Christ went and done it, and Christ said that it's lawful for us to do it. All right? It's lawful for you to do good on the Sabbath. It's not a day where you don't want to do good. Where you be like, okay, this is Sabbath day. I can't go, I shouldn't be out here feeding a person that's hungry, sitting right in front of my house, in front of my building. I shouldn't feed him because it's the Sabbath day. Or I shouldn't, somebody's trying to kill my family. I shouldn't fight back and defend myself because it's the Sabbath day. That's just ridiculous. Anybody in their right mind would, defend their family on the Sabbath day or any other day. Keep reading.
Verse 13. Then he saith to the man, stretch forth thine hand. And he stretched it forth, and it was restored whole as the other. Verse 14. Then the Pharisees went out and held a council against him, how they might destroy him. Verse 15. But then Yahushua knew it. He withdrew himself from thence, and great multitudes followed him, and he healed them all.
All right, so he left from there, and multitudes of people followed him, and he healed all of them. You know what I'm saying? On the Sabbath day. All right. So it's not a religious day. It's a day for you to have rest, and it's also a day for you to do good on. And that's what That's what Yahushua was trying to explain to them. It's always a spirit behind everything, and the spirit of the Sabbath is not for you to be in some kind of religious, religious, day, of just singing, and it's not just for that. It's for you to do good in, and also for you just not to do any serve out work. And you can do whatever you want to do except for what?
Work.
Except for work. That's all. But of course you gotta, everything you do gotta be lawful, of course. But yeah, you can do whatever you want to do as long as it's lawful. All right? On the Sabbath day. And don't let anybody tell you that you can't. All right? So we're gonna read. Y'all got any questions about anything before we get started? Anybody have any questions? Oh, go ahead, sister.
I seen this question on Facebook, and it might be retarded, but if Adam and Eve was the first people on Earth, then how did slavery come about?
Okay, so how are you equating slavery with Adam and Eve?
I don't know. It just
Well, you know what? It does equate with one another. All right, so Adam and Eve. All right, so the Lord told Adam to not eat from the tree of good and evil. All right, so what that meant was that Adam was never supposed to know what good and evil was. All right, all he was supposed to do was what?
It was supposed to just follow what the Most High told him.
Follow what the Most High told him. Good job. He was supposed to follow what the Most High told him. All right, but by him eating from that tree, it opened his eyes up into what good and evil was. Mm-hmm. All right. So, how you equate that with slavery is that we went through slavery. What was the reason why the Israelites went through slavery? You don't know?
Oh no.
What was the reason why the Israelites went through slavery?
They went through slavery because they wasn't following the law.
All right. They was not following the instructions of the Most High, right? Like who?
Like Adam and Eve.
Like Adam and Eve. All right. That's how you equate slavery with Adam and Eve. All right. Adam and Eve didn't follow the instructions of the Lord, and they got cast out of the Garden of Eden. Well, the same thing the Israelites did. We didn't follow the instructions of the Most High, and we got what? Cast out of Israel. The exact same thing happened to us. And that's the exact same thing how you can correlate. Not only that, you can correlate drug abuse with that. You can correlate, all of the sins that we do today goes all the way back to, it's the exact same sin. Us not following the instructions of the Most High. All right, so when we rebel from the Most High, then there's consequences to rebelling from the Most High. All right? Reason why you go look on Buchanan and see all these, our brothers and sisters strung out on drugs and selling dope and selling it, they body and all these things. All that comes from the exact same sin that Adam did. They're not following the instructions of the Most High. And so those are the consequences to not following those instructions. We all go through, everything that we go through is because we are rebelling against God. It's all the same. The Israelites of old, the Israelites of today, we are still doing the exact same thing. And that's why we keep getting punished for rebelling. So our job now is to do what? What's you and me, what's our job and everybody else's job in here today?
Serve the Most High.
Right, to break that generational curse. Those are generational curses. That's how you break it. We have to start to serve the Most High, and we have to teach our kids to do it. It's not just good enough for us to do. Because once we get through, and once we die, well, guess what our kids gonna do? They're gonna go back to rebelling. So we have to keep teaching each generation to serve the Most High. Because if not, then we'll continue to be in bondage, continue to be enslaved, continue to be kicked out of the Lord's good graces, and continue to get kicked out of His protection because we are rebelling against Him. So that's why Adam and Eve, and for the record, Adam and Eve was not the first people on earth. But, Adam and Eve want to follow the other nations of people. Because the other nations of people don't follow the Lord. All right? You got it? All right. Any more questions? If not, let's get into the class. All right? We're going to start at Numbers chapter 15. Numbers chapter 15, verse 14. Start at 14.
It's Numbers chapter 15 and verse 14 in the Hebrew. Wakaya, Yagawar, Afakum, Gar. Door, Awa, the shore, Bafawa Kama, Lador, Bayakum, Wa Aisha, Asha, Rayaka, Nayaka, La Yahweh, Ka Ashor, Fa Aishwa, Khan, Ya Aisha, verse 15. Hakwaho, Hakwa, Akat, Lakam, Walagar, Hagar, Lakwa, Iwanam, Ladar, Vayakum, Kakam, Kagar, Yahayaha, Lapanya, Yahweh, verse 16. Bawara, Akaf, Wamashapat, Akad, Yahayaha, Lakam, Walagar, Hagar, Afakum, verse 17. Wayadabar, Yahweh, all, Mashah, La Amar, verse 18. Dabar, all, Banya, Yasha'ala, Wa Amarat, Alaham, Ba'akum, all, Ha'aratza, Ashor, Anya, Mabaya'a, Afakum, Shama, verse 19. Wahayaha, Ba'akal, come. Malakam, Ha'aratza, Tharai, Yamwa, Thara wa La Yahweh. Verse 20. Ra'ash Yatha, Ira, Irasatha, Irasafkam, Kala,
You started at 14, right?
Thara Yawam, Slaki, Thara Yamwa, Thara Yamwa, Thara Wama, Kathar Rawamath, Garan, Gan, Thara Yawam, Slaki, Thara Yamwa, Ath, Slaki, Atha.
You can stop. Let's go back.
It's Numbers chapter 15 and verse 14 in the English. And if a stranger sojourn with you, or whosoever be among you in your generations. Numbers 15 and verse 14, all in the English, all sisters there. Well, I get in there. Verse 14. And if a stranger sojourn with you, or whosoever be among you in your generations, and will offer an offering made by fire of a sweet savor unto the Lord, as ye do, so he shall do. Verse 15. One ordinance shall be for both of you of the congregation, and also for the stranger that sojourneth with you. An ordinance. Verse 14. And if a stranger sojourn with you, or whosoever be among you in your generations, and will offer an offering made by fire or a sweet savor unto the Lord, as ye do, so he shall do.
Okay, so how do you know the difference between a stranger and someone? Well, I'm just let me take another one. How do you? Who is this stranger right here?
I got two answers.
First, number one answer.
But this is the one that, okay. Right, it's one answer, but
who is the stranger right
is
here?
Is it somebody that's not following the Most High? Like not following the laws?
Possibly.
That's like,
but there's another answer for it that's straightforward. Go ahead, sister.
Is it because he's telling him how to make an offering? He's giving him instructions. He's saying he's giving the stranger instructions.
Right. So who is the stranger that he's giving instructions?
So the stranger is someone who hasn't been following the laws. Someone who's been living on the outside of the camp.
Yeah, get it, sister. All right, so what it is someone who, I go back up to 13. 13 to explain in contrast to the stranger. All right.
Numbers chapter 15 and verse 13. All that are born of the country shall do these things after this manner.
All right, so what is it saying? Read it again.
All that are born of the country shall do these things after this manner. And an offering an offering made by fire of a sweet savor unto the Lord.
All right, so it's saying that everybody who was born in this country, they should do these things. All right. So now, it's giving you a contrast on who the stranger is. So the stranger is who? Keep reading.
Verse 14. And if a stranger sojourn with you.
All right, so now it's saying it's talking about the people who were born in the land, and now it's talking about a stranger. All right, so who is the stranger? Go ahead.
Is it a heathen?
Go ahead.
Someone who lived on the outside of the
Someone
country.
who is not born in the land. All right, just pay attention to what I'm saying. All right, someone who is not born in the land. Keep reading.
Or whosoever be among you in your generations, and will offer an offering made by fire of a sweet savor unto the Lord, as ye do, so shall he do.
All right, keep reading.
Verse 15.
So it's saying that someone who was born in the land and somebody who's with you who is not born in the land, they shall do the same thing that you do. All right, keep reading.
Verse 15. One ordinance shall be both for you of the congregation, and also for the stranger that sojourneth with you, an ordinance forever in your generations, as ye are, so shall the stranger be before the Lord.
All right, so it's the same thing. The person who is not born in the land, they will still have to do the same thing that you do. All right, they're called a stranger because they was not born in the land. All right, you would be a stranger because you were not born in the land of Israel. All right, so that would make you a stranger. That would make me a stranger. All right, and if you go into the Greek, we wouldn't be called strangers in the Greek. We would be called what? Anybody know? Go ahead. Gentiles. All right, that's where you get Gentile from. Gentile, when you read it in Hebrew, that Gentiles is strangers in Hebrew. All right, and in Greek it is just Gentile. All right, there's no difference between Gentiles and strangers except for context. So when you read in context, Gentiles can also mean heathens, as well as strangers can also mean heathens. All right, but the only difference is you know that this is not talking about heathens. How do you know this ain't talking about heathens? It'd be the same thing. And if you learn this now, then the New Testament will make way more sense to you, because it's the exact same thing in the New Testament.
Because the laws of sacrifice and all that wasn't given to nobody but Israel.
He's telling the Israelites to do this. These things. Strangers couldn't go. Heathens couldn't go to the Passover. You know what I'm saying? Heathens couldn't go to do and things like that. But people who were born outside of Israel, if you're an Israelite born outside of Israel, you could. Go ahead.
Like you said, and I'm gonna say, if you like in the beginning of chapter 15 and 2, it says speak unto the children of Israel. So most like when stuff is given, it always say speak unto the children of Israel. It don't never say like nobody else, right?
Right. Keep it.
Verse 16. One law and one manner shall be for you, and for the stranger that sojourneth with you. Verse 17. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, verse 18, speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, when ye come into the land whither I bring you. Verse 19. Then it shall be that when you eat of the bread of the land, ye shall offer up an heave offering unto the Lord. Verse 20. Ye shall offer up a cake for the you shall offer up. Verse 20. Ye shall offer up a cake of the first of your dough for an heave offering, as ye do the heave offering of the threshing floor, so shall ye heave it.
All right, so there's, like I'm saying, there's a lot of different offerings that we have to make to the Lord. All right, and He always wants your first fruits of those offerings. All right, so when you're doing when you come into the land, it was like, and you start to make bread in that land. Well, I need the first fruit of that bread. All right, so you would make cakes to the Lord, and you would take the cakes and give them to the priest. All right, and this would be an offering for you for your first fruits of coming inside of the land. All right, this is the bread. This is the first piece of bread that I made when I stepped foot in the land of Israel, and now I'm giving it to the Lord. Or if you go in and plant a garden, well, whatever your garden produce, as soon as you get there, well, you give that to the Lord. You give him all your first fruits. And that's why we celebrate the Feast of First Fruits now. We're actually in the Feast of First Fruits as we speak. And that's why we do it, because we are supposed to give our first and our goodly things to the Most High first. All right, before you take a bite out of the dough that you made, well, you're supposed to present it to the Most High first. And that's what he wants you to do. All right. I think you had a question. Go ahead.
I was going to ask, what is the threshing floor?
Okay, threshing floor is where you would make the bread at. It's just a place where you would make the bread at. All right, and that's where you would make sure that when you're making the bread, that you bless the bread there. This is the bread that I'm giving to the Lord. All right, and that's how you would bless it to the Lord. Questions?
If you answered it, I was going to ask what heathen threshing was, but I looked it up and I understand.
Okay, you said when we come into the land, is it Israel?
Yeah.
When we come into the land of Israel, we will give our first fruits. Okay, so how do we give our first fruits if we're not in the land of Israel? And how do we do we not eat the whole day, like on the day of first fruits, and wait to eat to give y'all the food?
No. Okay, so this right here, what you're reading, what we're reading now, this was given to the children of Israel when they was to come inside of the land. All right, so when they get to the land of Israel, they were supposed to do a lot of these things that the Most High told them to do. So, like if he's say for instance, just saying when you come into the land of Israel, then you would give your first fruits. All right. Well, we haven't came into the land of Israel, so that's not for us to do. All right, we're not. That's an instruction for them when they got into the land of Israel that this is what you needed to do. It wasn't one of those throughout your generation type things. It was when you get there, make sure that you do this right there. All right. So everybody can be able to give your first fruits. And yeah, so that's basically what it's about. So how would you? I think your question is, how would you be able to give your first fruits now? That's your question, right? All right. So you can still give your first fruits by like you are the first fruit now. So everything that you do, like say for instance, you pay tithes, right? If you pay tithes, well, the tithes can be your first fruits. It's like you just want to make sure that you're giving your best to the Lord. You are your first fruit. Are you giving your best to the Lord, or are you holding back? We're giving your best to the Lord. Your tithe. Are you paying the white man first, or are you paying the Lord first? You know what I'm saying? What are you doing? Are you using your abilities? Are you giving them to the oppressor first, or do you use those abilities and give them to the Lord first? You get what I'm saying? There's many ways. Like I said, everything is spiritual that we do. So you got to look at the spirit of what you're doing. Are you giving your all to the Lord, or are you giving your all to the world first? Which one are you doing? So there's a way that you can look at it, today by understanding the work that you do, and where your heart is at. Is your heart with the Lord first, or is your heart with the world first? All right. So we're in the Feast of First Fruits right now. Feast of First Fruits lasts for 7 weeks. All right. There is like if you like to plant flowers and stuff, this is the time to plant your flowers. You know what I'm saying? You like to grow food. This is the time to grow your food right now. Doing, from the time of the feast of what's the unleavened bread all the way through to blowing of the trumpets. This is the time where you will plant your food and your food will start getting increased around Feast of Tabernacles. All the way to the Feast of Tabernacles. That's when you'll really start. That'll be the end of your, the harvest season. So, so you'll get all kind of increase now, when you're doing it unto the Lord. You know what I'm saying? Tell the Lord to bless your garden, bless your food, or whatever it is that you're planning on doing. The Lord can bless that, but you give your first fruits to the Lord now. You know what I'm saying? This is a great time to discern whether you're doing that or not. All right? I think that was it. Let's go back to the Hebrew.
Numbers chapter 15 and verse 21 in the Hebrew. Marah Ashayaf Irasaf Yakam Fafanwa La Yahweh Tharawam Tharawa Wama Ladarath Yakum. Verse 22. Wakaya Thashagawa Wala'a Tha'ishwa Ath Thor Hamatazawa Ha'ala Ashar Dabar Yahweh La Slaki all Shah. Verse 23. Ath Kol Ashar Kazawa Yahweh Al Yakam Bayad Mashah Man Hayawam Ashar Kazawa Yahweh Wahala'ah Ladarath Yakam. Verse 24. Wahaya. It's like, Wahaya. Ma'ayanya. Ha'ida. Na'aishaf. It's like Na'aishafa. Lasha. It's like Lashagaga. Wa'aishwa. Call. Ha'ida. Par. Ban. Bakwar. Akkad. La'ila. La Rayak. Nayaka. La Yahweh. Waman. Wamanak. Tawa. Wanasak. It's like Wanasakawa. Kamashapat. Washa Ayor. Isayom. Akkad. Lakataf. Verse 25. Wakapar. Hakahan. Al. Kol. Idaf. Banya. Yasha Allah. Wanasalak. Laham. Kaya. Shagaga. Hawa'a. Waham. Haba Ya'awa. Af. Quaraban. Salaki. Quara. Banam. Quarabanam. Asha. La Yahweh. Wakata. Wakata'athum. Wakata'athum. Lapanya. Yahweh. Al. Shagah. Gathum. Verse 26. Wanas. Wanasalak. Lakal. Aidath. Banya. Yasha'ala. Walagar. Hagar. Bathwakum. Kaya. Laka. Lakala. Or Lakal. Ha'ain. Basha Gaga. Verse 27. Wa'am. Napash. Akaf. Fakata. Bashaga. Waha. Kwar. Yaba. Waha. Kwar. Yaba. Waha. Kwar. Yaba. Isaac. Bath. Shanatha. Lakata'ath. Verse 28. Wakapar. Hakahan. Al. Hanapash. Hagad. Hasha. Gagath. I'm still at 28. Baka Ta'a. Basha Gaga. Lapanya Yahweh. Lakapar. Al Yawa. Wana Salak. Lawa. It's Numbers chapter 15 and verse 21 in the English. Of the first of your dough ye shall give unto the Lord an heave offering in your generations. Verse 22. And if ye have erred and not observed all these commandments which the Lord hath spoken unto Moses, verse 23. Even all that the Lord hath commanded you by the hand of Moses from that day the Lord commanded Moses, and henceforth among your generations. Verse 24. Then it shall be, if aught be committed by ignorance without the knowledge of the congregation, that all the congregation shall offer one young bullock for a burnt offering, for a sweet savor unto the Lord, with his meat offering and his drink offering, according to the manner, and one kid of the goats for a sin offering.
All right, so say for instance you didn't know that you were supposed to do this, you still would have to pay. Right? That's one of the things about serving the Most High is, like, say for instance, we didn't know about the commandments, right? We didn't, we grew up, we didn't know nothing about the law, statutes, commandments. Because I always talked that the law was done away with and all this old stuff. So we didn't know about the law, statutes, commandments, but yet we were still being punished, and all of our generations are being punished, even though we didn't know about it. Right? We were still, and the Lord was long suffering with us. The Lord, He understood that we didn't know, but He can't go back on His word. You get what I'm saying? He still has to, punish us, even though we don't know about it. The brothers and sisters in the world, they getting punished, and they don't even know why. They don't. You ask the average brother or sister in the world, why are so many people hating us? Why, we on the bottom? Why we the last half, first five? Why is, the police killing us? Why, if we ask the common questions to the average person on the street or in the street, they don't know. They have no idea why we're going through the things we're going through. They'll just say it's because of the color of our skin. That's just the common answer when people don't know. When I hear people say it's the color of my skin, I know that they really don't know anything about the Lord. They really don't know anything about our condition, or anything, because it's way, way deeper than just the color of our skin. You know what I'm saying? It's way deeper than that. It has everything to do with us being rebellious. And it really don't go no further than that. And that you won't learn this in the Christian church. You learn in the Christian church that God is just merciful, He loves, and He deals with us regardless of how we are. He's still gonna bless us and love us. And it don't matter how we are. As long as we believe that Jesus is our Lord and Savior, then we will, be blessed by God. And that's just not the truth. The truth is we are under the conditions we are in because our God put us in these conditions. That's the honest truth right there. That is the truth one-on-one. If you can grasp that part right there, then everything else will become easier for you to do. You'll be able to fight more demons. If you can grasp that concept right there. You're on your way to victory. If you can grasp that concept. The reason why I'm going through this is because God put me through this for being rebellious. That is the answer to all of that is the beginning of knowledge right there. Once we understand that, then we'll understand how to treat one another. We'll understand how to, raise our children. We'll understand all of the things that are hurting us as a people once we realize that we're being hurt because of our rebellion. So the natural thing is to do what? If we're being hurt because of our rebellion, what would be the natural thing to do? Or the smartest, the smartest thing to do. Once you learn that I'm being hurt, I'm being in oppression and being put, through all of this is because of my rebellion to God. So naturally, what is the next thing that you should be doing? Go ahead, sister.
Start following the laws and learning the scripture.
Stop being rebellious. That is the answer. We want it to be, something real, just complicated, and something that we just, there's no way that we could possibly do. We don't want it to be as simple as to just start to follow the commandments. Stop being rebellious. We don't want it. That's too easy for us to understand that. Go ahead, brother. Yeah.
The Christians teach us that it's such leaps and hurdles that it's got to be something more than just as simple as disobedience, because that allows them in their mind to continue sinning. That it removes them from the guilt of the equation.
Responsibility and accountability. That's what it removes them from. So long as they don't have to be accountable for their actions, then they have an excuse to keep doing what they're doing. Go ahead, bro.
I was going to say also, too, that in the Christian church, they teach that the law is done away with. You do whatever you want to do. Feel free to do what you want. You don't have to keep the law. That's the Old Testament. So a lot of people are rebellion because the Christian pastor.
Absolutely.
He's the one that's actually teaching these things and got our people going all over the place instead of going a narrow road and following the laws and commandments.
Right, and and what you're saying is heavy because what is written, the real teachers of the people, the accountability starts there. Right? It starts with the pastors and the churches. But your grandmama is a culprit. Your mama is a culprit. Your daddy is a culprit. You do what I'm saying? Because they're the ones who are teaching the children. We can't have it going on and on and on without the children getting it. So they're allowing all of these things to be taught to children. Then the children grow up and do what? Be disobedient. And then when they have children, what do they teach their children? Go ahead.
It's like a repeated cycle.
The same thing. It just keep going on and on and on and on. So what we have to teach out is, this is why the Most High always be like, man, speak to the children of Israel and tell them to do A, B, and C. And it goes back to what Jasmine was talking about earlier, a warrior. Salaki sister. It goes back to what a warrior was talking about earlier. About in the Garden of Eden, all they had to do was just listen to what the Most High said. Well, that goes for us too. All we have to do is listen to what the Most High said. And that is how we come out of, find the scripture where it say, I'll turn back the captivity. So
I was going to also say too, I was going to say too that Christians make an excuse of following the Most High. When I tell, when I said in class, taught in class, was it Thursday? Mm-hmm. It was Thursday. That Christians will follow all of Esau's laws. Right. Won't make no excuse of following his laws. But when you say, well, what about the laws? What about the Lord's laws? What about the law, statutes, commandments? So they got every excuse. Oh, we can't keep all those. Right. We can't follow that. But you follow Esau's laws. Right. You don't break any of his laws. So if you can keep Esau's laws, why you can't keep the Most High laws?
Right. And that's real. And okay, so what's the reason why they say that they can keep Esau's laws but can't keep the Most High laws?
Because I hear Christians always say, well, we have to follow the laws of the land. Well, yeah, okay. You have to follow the laws of the land. You also have to follow the laws of God too.
Are the laws of the land done away with? That's why. That's why they can pick and choose which, they can choose the laws of Esau over God's law because it wasn't taught that the laws of the land are done away with. So, but they are taught that God's laws are done away with. So if God's law is done away with, that means I don't have to do God's law. If somebody was to come say, well, American laws are done away with, y'all. Think of a law that they done away with.
They have?
Yeah. Good.
Well,
they done away with laws? Good.
They did.
Slavery was a law.
Smoking weed is almost done away with in certain states. It's almost done away with in Nashville.
Abortion done away with?
Yeah. Abortion. Good.
The other day, May 11th, they ended the law that prohibited illegal immigrants from coming into America without the COVID vaccine.
Right. So now that law is done away with. So now people will start to, now the immigrant, they can't come over here no more. But that law is done away with. And people start to teach other people, hey man, this law is done away with. You can't, And now they're going to suffer because of that. Because now they don't got nobody to be in that watermelon patch, getting all the watermelons for 2 cents a watermelon. You get what I'm saying? They ain't got nobody to do that now. So they're going to suffer because of that. And we're suffering because of God's law being done away with. And we can, by us following God's law, it strengthens us. Did you find that scripture? Read what you want.
Start at verse 1. It's Deuteronomy chapter 30 and verse 1. And it shall come to pass, when all these things are come upon thee, the blessings and the curses which I have set before thee, and thou shalt call them to mind among all the nations whither the Lord thy God hath driven thee. Verse 2.
So, all right. So, pay attention to this right here, Jay. I can call you Jazz a lot, man. A warrior. Pay attention to this right here. All right, he said that. Read it one more time.
Verse 1. And it shall come to pass, when all these things are come upon thee, the blessings and the curses which I have set before thee, and thou shalt call them to mind among all the nations whither the Lord thy God hath driven thee.
So it's saying that you're going to call this to mind in the nation where the Lord has driven. All right. So now you know what it means to call this to mind. Okay, so when it says to call this to mind, that means that your mind is going to remember. All right. You're going to remember these blessings and these curses in the land where I've sent you. All right. When we are in captivity, our job in captivity to get back. All right, so we rebel from the Lord to get into captivity, right? So now, while we're in captivity, okay, so who got kids? Y'all got kids? All right, well, all of us was a child at one time. All right. So have you ever got your butt whooped and sent to your room? So when you got your butt whooped and sent to your room, what were you supposed to be doing while you were sitting in your room with your butt hurt? Go ahead.
I wasn't doing what I was supposed to be doing, but
you've done it before.
Supposed to be thinking about the wrong you did.
Yeah.
But I was more crying. I was hurt.
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking about it.
But the whole point, though, when you got your butt whooped and sent to your room, you're supposed to be in there thinking about what you did wrong so that you won't do it again.
Right.
All right? That is what he just read. All right? That when the Lord whooped our butt and put us in captivity, well, now we're supposed to be in captivity thinking about what we did wrong.
Right.
All right? We're supposed to be continuing doing the things that got us a whooping. We're supposed to be in here thinking about what we did wrong. That's calling it to remembrance. That's read it one more time.
Verse 1.
Verse 2. Is that verse 1?
Verse 1.
Okay, read it.
Verse 1. And it shall come to pass, when all these things are come upon thee, the blessings and the curses which I have set before thee, and thou shalt call them to mind among all the nations whither the Lord thy God hath driven thee. Verse 2. And shalt return unto the Lord thy God, and shalt obey his voice according to all that I command thee this day.
So after you get your butt whooped, right, and you're in there thinking about what you done wrong, what's the next thing you're supposed to do?
And shall return unto the Lord thy God, and shall obey his voice according to all that I command thee this day.
So now you're supposed to come back and now start to do right. That's the whole point of him putting us in captivity. It wasn't to go serve these other nations. That's not, and be obedient and, you know what I'm saying, serving their gods and, you know, all of that to them. That wasn't the point. That was not the reason why he sent us into captivity. The reason why he sent us into captivity is to punish us for not serving him and for us to think about why, you know, what we did wrong and to come back and start to serve him. In captivity. You're supposed to come to remember it. Now, you know what? I'm finna stop eating pork. You know what? I'm finna stop, hating my brother. You know, I'm finna stop doing these things, being a whore. I'm finna stop all of that. Because as long as I'm doing this, I'm gonna do what? Be in captivity. So now I need to stop doing this in order to get out of captivity. And the Lord finna tell you, so he finna tell you why. Read verse 11.
Verse 2. And shall return unto the Lord thy God, and shall obey his voice according to all that I commanded thee this day. Thou and thy children with all thine heart, and all, thou and thy children.
All right.
with all thine heart and with all thy soul.
It's not, like I was saying, it's not just for you to start to do it. You have to teach it to your children. Because your children is going to be the one who breaks the cycle. That's who's going to break the cycle. Your children. And your children's children. And your children's children's children. Your children's children. Go ahead, bro.
So that's happening right now. Breaking the curse, breaking the cycle.
Breaking the cycle. The Lord ain't gonna bring us out of captivity because we done came into the truth. He's gonna bring us out of captivity when our children's children. You know what I'm saying? They are going to be the ones who bring us out of captivity. But it starts with us. It starts with us, and we have to teach them. And they have to teach their children. You get what I'm saying? And that's how we get out of captivity. That is the Lord turning our captivity. That's why he said the church. That is the Lord turning out. That's how, you want to know what it looked like to come out of captivity? That's what it looked like. When our children learns the law, statutes, commandments, and be obedient to the Most High. That's what it looked like. It don't look, like I said, there ain't nothing that we coming out. We just the beginning of it. But when the children start to come out, that's us. You'll gradually see us coming out of captivity. Keep reading.
Verse 3. That then the Lord thy God will turn thy captivity and have compassion upon thee, and will return and gather thee from all the nations whither the Lord thy God hath scattered thee.
All right, so when is the Lord going to turn our captivity? Go ahead, sister.
We start to obey him,
Uh-huh.
and follow laws,
And what?
and turn against our wickedness ways.
Oh, you missed it. You missed it, sir. Read it again.
Verse 2. And shall return unto the Lord thy God, and shall obey his voice according to all that I commanded thee this day, thou and thy children, with all thine heart and with all thy soul.
All right, so when is the Lord going to turn our captivity? Go ahead, sister.
When our children's children start following the laws and we show them how to follow the laws.
That's give the sister a hand. That's how we get out of captivity. All right? It ain't going to be us just following the laws and, loving the Lord. It's going to be when we teach our children to follow the laws and love the Lord. That we the beginning, our children are the end. The fight that we doing right now, y'all, I want y'all to pay attention to what I'm going to say. The fight that we are in right now is for our children. Right? It's not for us. You sacrificing your life for the greater good. And the greater good is our children. That's what the battle is. The battle is for them. And they're going to do no good if we get the truth and they don't. It's not going to help our situation, not one iota. We're going to, follow the Lord, but then the Lord is going to still punish our children. Because they not. Go ahead, bro.
I was going to also say, think about what Esau's doing. He's after the children.
Why? And why is that?
Because the children are a threat. So if we teach the children the law, statutes, commandments, then they're going to follow God and separate themselves with Esau. Esau and his agenda, what he's trying to do with the children.
Expound on why the children are a threat, because that was heavy that you said.
Children are a threat because, like today, how our generation today are rebelling. So how we started rebel and going against what Esau you know, Esau in his agenda. In his mind, okay, if they going to rebel against what we got going on, what are they teaching their children? So if they're going to start rebel, we start rebelling, it's going to trickle down all the way down to their children.
Well, why is it a threat to Esau? I want the brother to answer. I'm going to come to y'all. I'm going to get on the time there.
Come back to
Ashley. Right, they are our future. So why do he look at them as a threat? You don't know? You're right about they are our future. You're right. So if they are our future, why is he so scared of the future?
Because the children is our way into the kingdom.
Yes. Give us a hand. And okay, so if the children is our way to the kingdom, what happens to this kingdom? We're in the kingdom right now. So what happens to this kingdom? Okay, we can't have two kingdoms. It's got to be one or the other. So we have God's kingdom, or Christ's kingdom, which, and we're in the kingdom right now. So Christ's kingdom is what? The future, right? All right. So in the present, we're in Esau's kingdom. So what happens to Esau's kingdom in order for us to get to Christ's kingdom? Go ahead.
This kingdom falls.
Get a sister hand. That is the threat, brother. So when you were right on point when you said it's a threat, but if you explain the threat, you got to explain what's going to happen to it. Why it's a threat. That's why that's why he pushing pedophilia. Why he pushing homosexuality. That's why he pushing, all of these things, because and he pushing it to us and to our children. Because if our children follow that, they're not going to follow the Lord. So that's why it's important for him to do that, because as long as we're following that, his kingdom is going to still last. But as soon as our children start to follow the Lord, his children, his kingdom fall. It don't fall because we know the truth. That ain't how the kingdom falls. The kingdom falls because the children know the truth. That's how the kingdom falls. Because we die out. We only got what? At 70 years, at 100 years at the most. And we're gonna be gone. And then what's gonna happen? The children is gonna be following Esau's kingdom. So it's important for them to push that so they can keep their kingdom going. They don't mind us fighting them for 50 or 100 years. Okay, well, we still got another 500 years that we're going to keep our kingdom. They'll trade in 100 years over 500. You know what I'm saying? So, go ahead, sister.
And one thing, once we start following the laws, their money gonna start disappearing. No more shrimp, no more catfish, no more buying weed, no more buying dope, no more. That kingdom will start falling once we start following the laws.
Absolutely, it's gonna fall, and that's the whole point. The whole point of there is no way that we can get God's kingdom without Esau's kingdom falling. Without whatever kingdom in the world that's going to be ruling, without it falling. It has to fall in order for us to be free. That's our freedom. Our children is going to free our people. It's not going to be us. Go ahead.
Precept in regards to training up our children. Proverbs 22:6. Train up a child in the way that he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it.
That's right. That's right. The children, if you're teaching them now, it's important, because the word, if you don't teach them, the world gonna teach them. So that's the only choice that we have. We are fighting against the world, and it's a big, big battle, y'all. It's way bigger than us. So we gotta have a supernatural power with us to be able to fight this. And that's what Christ was dealing with. That's what the disciples was dealing with. They're dealing with the exact same thing we're dealing with. So we have to, we have to have a supernatural power to give us the strength to be able to fight this battle that's way bigger than all of us. So it's not, a lot of people. I was just talking to this dude, right? And he asked me a question. I was telling him to get in school, get in class, and he was like, "Okay, but I want to know what y'all think about the new moon." This nigga asking me about. We got people out here dying, out here strung out on dope. You know what I'm saying? We got alcoholics. We got all kind of things going on in the world that our people is going through. And this nigga asking me the determining factor of him getting into the school is what we think about the damn moon. And I was just like, this is what we got to deal with. This is what we have to deal with. What we think about the moon. I didn't even answer the nigga. I'm just like, okay, I think, well, maybe you don't need to come to school. Maybe you better off where you at because you're thinking, I can't join y'all because I don't know what y'all think about the moon. What the hell the moon got to do with you, being brotherly or sisterly or, you know what I'm saying? What the hell they got to do with anything? I don't believe that y'all believe that the new moon is, a crescent. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, man, are you serious? We out here dying in the streets. And this nigga worried about what the moon look like. But this is what we have to deal with as people. This is the rebellion. Because that ain't nothing but rebellion. It ain't got nothing to do with the damn moon. It got everything to do with he like whores or white girls. You know what I'm saying? It's something that he don't want to leave because, he's lusting after it. And it ain't got nothing to do with no damn moon. He's just using the moon as an excuse not to, be brotherly or get rid of a white girl. That's what it's about. Go ahead.
I was going to say I had another scripture for my children. Go ahead. This is the book of Deuteronomy 6 and 7. It says, "And these words which I command thee this day shall be in thy heart." Verse 7. "And thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children, and shalt talk of them when thou sittest in thy house, and when thou walkest by thy way, and when thou layest down, and when thou risest up."
These are the things that we have to think about. What are we teaching our children? Are we teaching our children to follow the Lord, or are we just teaching our children to follow the Lord? Are we assisting Esau? Are we assisting these heathens to corrupt our children? Or are we assisting the Lord and helping us get out of captivity? That's a major question.
I was gonna say that brought back up what we were talking about before in regards to raising up our children, teaching our people how to be self-sufficient. A lot of our people only focus on the end goal of getting away from the oppressor, but what then? The children of Israel were focused on getting away from the oppressor. Until they got away from the oppressor, they didn't know what to do, so they was begging to go back to the oppressor. Yeah. We have to train up our people to know how to survive without the oppressor. Teach them that we don't need the oppressor. Turn back to the Most High, and then teach them what to do after that. It can't just be about we got to get away. What about what we're gonna do when we get away? You know, we have to focus on what we're gonna do. What's the plan after we get away? And that's something your Christian pastor don't have for you.
Right. And the Lord, He gave, and there's something too. The Lord gave the children of Israel. He gave men inside of the children of Israel skills. He gave them zeal to do different tasks inside of, once we left Egypt. Those temples didn't build themselves. You know what I'm saying? All the things that we needed, the Lord supplied those things. So the Lord, He will teach us the things that we need to be able to survive. But He cannot teach us that if we are not in unison. You know what I'm saying? And know that, when they left Egypt, everybody, all 640,000 souls or something like that.
Yes.
Left Egypt.
Yes.
Every last one of them knew who the devil was. All of them knew that the Pharaoh and the Egyptians, was crooked. You know what I'm saying? And it was the devil. So they all left knowing that, and only reason they wanted to go back is because they lusted after the things that they didn't have. But it wasn't they wanted to, but they all did know that if I go back, I'm going to be back in bondage. You know what I'm saying? But bondage was better in their mind because of the lust that they was trying to follow. But our people don't understand who the enemy is. You do what I'm saying? We still don't understand that no matter, as long as we here, we're going to be second, third, fourth class citizens. As long as we up under them. As long as we trying to be, like Gentleman Hammond said, as long as we trying to be equal with them, that means that we don't want to be over them. And our mindset inside of the school and the mindset that God was trying to teach these people, the children of Israel, was that you need to be thinking big. You don't need to be thinking equality. You need to be thinking rulership. Well, we can't be in rulership, y'all. We're thinking that, we should be equal with them. We thinking that, they cool. We can't be in rulership because they're in rulership and they damn sure don't think that they want to be equal with us. You can't be wanting a tie. We want to win. We don't want to be in no damn tie. That's what the Christian church teaches, a tie. Teaches you to settle for a tie instead of teaching you to be the victim. Go ahead, bro.
I was gonna say, why we want to be equal to a group of people that's beneath us?
Absolutely.
Why would we want to be equal to a people that's just a base people?
And that's something that we have to teach our children. Because our children believe that, they are not, our oppressors are not as bad as we say they are. Because they don't know about it. They're young. All they know is, should I play with them on the video games and they cool. And, you know what I'm saying? They don't look at that those same kids are going to grow up to be oppressing you. They're going to grow up to be, your managers. Your CEO of the company that you working for.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They don't understand that part. And that they're going to treat you like, you're a second class, third class citizen and not equal to them. They don't get that part. And that's the hard part. That's the battle that we fight. Y'all got any more questions? When Yahweh means turn to face the east. We're going to say the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew.
The Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Shabbat Shabbat, Balasawan, Wabal, Awashanawa, Ayan, Rod, Ayah, Lakab, Hamalakwa, Hama'ala, Mahata Power, Aman.
The Lord's Prayer in the English. Our Father, art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done. On earth, as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us of our debts. We forgive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation. Deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it. So, turn. In Israel, we're going to give one courtesy salute. Amar Shabbat, Amar, Barak.
Yahweh Shemel Shabbat.
Sorry, Mr. Turn. We're going to face the sisters. Then in Israel, we're going to get the sisters one courtesy salute. Amar Shabbat, Amar, Barak.
Yahweh Shemel Shabbat.
Sorry, Mr. Turn. Dismiss. Somebody stop.